The back end just clocked something worth watching. The 30-year Treasury yield pushed back above the 5% line today, closing around 5.05%, up about 5 basis points as the long end keeps grinding higher. We close out on SignalFinder Pro's #1 ranked ETF and stock from the best of best. Stick around. SPX closed just above 7,500, but the NASDAQ is where the real action was. QQQ dropped nearly 2%, and the NDX sliced through its 50-day moving average. The divergence the scan surfaced. SPX showed a bullish reversal condition on the exact same day NDX logged a bearish one. 3 consecutive weeks of bearish NDX weekly signal now. The VIX and the bull-bear zone around 75.50 are the 2 levels to keep in the frame. The macro parameters the system ingested today. DXY anchoring near 101.12. The 10-year holding around 4.5% on sticky inflation. And then the 30-year pushing back above 5%, closing near 5.05. Still shy of the roughly 5.2 peak it set back in May, but firmly back over that psychological line. With the long end grinding higher, that keeps pressure on rate-sensitive bonds like TLT. And the system's watching how far this leg runs. The Warsh Fed held rates unchanged, with 17 out of 18 members projecting hikes. No dot from the chair himself. The uncertainty in macro is running about as high as it gets. Energy is lagging the rest of the market today. WTI crude is stalling just under resistance, and the geo-hedge unwind has been pulling XLE down with it. USO is carrying a point-and-figure sell signal right now, which is the system's bearish flag on that chart. Until WTI clears that resistance band, XLE stays in the lagging buckets. Gold and silver are bouncing modestly off their correction lows. This section went through a sharp pullback after a parabolic run, driven by the hawkish Fed shift and the unwinding of the dollar debasement trade. The miners are telling a harder story, though. They're still sitting 20 to 60% below their recent highs. Copper's adding a bearish read on the industrial side. The system's got metals mixed, recovering, but the setup isn't clean. This is the section that went against the grain today. Internationals are actually leading. Emerging markets are up nearly 3%. EFA up over 1%, with Japan and Taiwan driving a big chunk of that on Asian tech strength. It's a real divergence from what US tech did on the same session. The NATO defense spending backdrop is adding a geopolitical layer to the EFA trade. The pressure on member countries to hit spending targets is starting to move that narrative. Bitcoin's sitting inside that 62 to 65,000 resistance cluster. The system's reading it mixed right now. The ETF outflow streak did snap, but IBIT is still under pressure. Here's the structural data point worth watching. Bitcoin's long-term holder cost basis is sitting near 38,000, and historically, it's never found a real bottom without first trading below that level. The chart and the structural story don't fully line up here. SignalFinder Pro ran the full scan today. 103 symbols filtered down through the best of best screen. The system's narrowed the market map to its current ranked shortlist. Top sectors are up next, and then we close on today's #1 ETF and #1 stock. The readout's live. Sector ranking board today. XLI Industrials at #1, XLK Technology at 2, and XLRE Real Estate rounding out the top 3. Real estate is the only one of the 3 that closed green, up 1.4%. Both industrials and tech are flag lagging. So the rank held, but the price action didn't cooperate. Real estate's the relative standout on this session. The scan's #1 ranked ETF today is KRE, the Spider S&P Regional Banking ETF. Regional banks hit the top of the shortlist on a mixed session, which makes it the name to have on your radar right now. Both the SignalFinder Pro Viewer and the TradingView chart are up. The infographic walks through the full setup breakdown. #1 stock in today's scan, ANET, Arista Networks. It pulled back sharply on the session, nearly 4%, but the system still has it at the top of the ranked list. That's the structural story. The rank held through the sell-off. Both charts are up. The infographic walks through the complete setup. That's the full readout for today. Mixtape overall. NDX cracked its 50-day, while internationals led, with emerging markets up nearly 3%. The 30-year yield pushed back above the 5% line, closing around 5.05. The system flagged 103 symbols through the best of best. #1 ETF is KRE. #1 stock is ANET. Verify both live in SignalFinder Pro. And remember, this is educational, not financial advice. Do your own homework.